It's okay, Oscar. It's all perfect. It's all perfect, brother.
It cracks me up.
Fine, everyone, place yourself on mute, please, and so we can create a sacred space. And I will go ahead and lead the meditation this time, and we attempt to have different people perform the meditation. So if you ever feel led to lead us in meditation, by all means, just let me know. So let us take this moment to be still. And wherever you are seated, in the way that is comfortable to you, just allow yourself to be still and go within. Allow yourself to move within the immense vastness that is you. A place of limitless potential. A place where your humanity and your divinity are one. A place from which the beauty of the divine, in that beautiful union of humanity and divinity, is able to pour forth through you. And so allow yourself to move inward to that place where you and I are one. As you move inward, embrace the silence. Embrace the beautiful, comforting silence. Like a warm blanket. Allow yourself to be present. Allow the everyday chatter that we experience when we are at work or driving home or going to the grocery store. Allow that chatter to fade away as you move into the blessed, intimate silence. Into the place where your true self awaits you. In this blessed silence, allow all worries and concerns and agendas and schedules to fade away. Be present. Be still. Be one. Be at peace. Holy Spirit, we are grateful for your presence. We are grateful for your comfort. We are grateful for the refuge of the stillness that is you. Allow yourself to abide in this peaceful, blessed moment with Holy Spirit. Now, as you are centered, as you are at peace, as you reside and abide in the oneness, the stillness, the silence, allow yourself to be open and receptive to the gentle teachings of God's teacher. Holy Spirit, we are ready to receive your wisdom. Now allow yourself ever so gently to return. Yet bring with you the peace, the tranquility, of your moments of abiding in the silence. And as you return to where you were sitting, let us now begin our opening prayer. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do. for he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. And so it is. Amen. All right.
Man, I need to start showing up on time.
What'd you say, Oscar?
Said I need to start showing up on time.
All right. Oscar, do you have your book? Would you mind reading?
Sure. If you forgive me, where do we leave off?
You're on chapter 10.
Yeah, and it's not too loud in the background, or?
No, it's good.
Okay. Just bear with me, guys.
Just after you finish reading, just press mute after you finish.
Sure.
Okay.
Beginning of chapter 10, God or the Ego?
No. Hold on one second. At Home in God. Chapter 10, which is the Idols of Sickness, part 1, At Home in God.
Idols of Sickness, at Home in God. Give me 1 second, bear with me.
That's okay.
No, I got it. So I've never ran this off the phone, so there we go. And it's the, shoot.
So there's an introduction, it's right after the introduction. And so it's part 1, At Home in God.
Okay, so nothing beyond yourself, right?
No, you do not know your creation. You would decide against it. You see that?
The Idols of Sickness, part 1, At Home in God.
Page 182.
Oh, okay. I get it. All right. Fair enough. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
All right. So you do not know your creation simply because you would decide against them. As long as your mind is split, and to attack what you have created is impossible. Remember that it is as impossible for God. Let me italicize that so there's a little bit of emphasis on there. The law of creation is that you love your creations as yourself because they are part of you. Everything that was created is therefore perfectly safe because the laws of God protected by his love. Any part of your mind that does not know this has banished itself from knowledge because it has not met its conditions. Who could have done this but you? Recognize this gladly, for in its recognition lies the realization that your banishment is not of God and therefore does not exist.
All right. Thank you, Oscar. Would you mind muting yourself, please? Thank you. All right. So, what do you all think about that? Who has any comments or interpretations? Questions?
They placed emphasis on, I remember when they use italicized text on there, it's always an emphasis. So, but remember that it is impossible for God. I guess I would assume that only the Holy Spirit could see that split mind, and the Father doesn't see it. So I don't know. That's what I read out of that. So
Yep.
Well, for me, it reminds me when it said the law of creation, that you love your creations and yourself because they are part of you. This is the way that actually God sees us as creations of Him, of it. loves us always, because we are part of him. So our creations, as we are part of God, are also not the same.
Yeah.
So we are always safe, we are always protected, we are always, like vulnerable in our essence. So it is a split mind that is going to look for, judgment or see things in a different way.
And why would we not recognize our creations? Why would we not recognize that?
Because we don't see them as our creations.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see them as separate from us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What is he defining as a creation? Is that the experience?
Well, creations are made out of love. So there's a number of things that could be considered creations, but just in general, creations are whatever that's made out of love. Things, and love is in alignment with spirit. So that's the textbook answer of what creations are. So until we want to go deeper, a little bit deeper, that's the textbook answer for A Course in Miracles. What is made out of? What comes from love? What comes from fear is things that are made. So you got made and created. That was one of the first things that I learned in A Course in Miracles. Just like extend and project. Those were some of the textbook answers as far as fear projects and love extends. And of course, you can go deeper than that, but just to keep things kind of simple, creations are things that are made from love.
So, and that means that our creation, just see, you have a friend and everything is okay. You have this friendship, from as a creation of love. But once you start judging it, it becomes a fear thing. Right? So then you start separating, and that friendship is no longer a friendship after all. So in that moment, in just that moment, we are out of love. And we might think that this is, we don't see our creation, we don't see when we are in chaos.
Ziba, what do you think?
Same thing, there was something that I wanted to mention here, and that is, I like the part that says, but remember that it is as impossible for God, the law of creation, is the, okay, I have to go further back. So you do not know your creation simply because you would decide against them, as long as your mind is split. And to attack what you have created is impossible. But remember that it is as impossible for God. So that is one part that I like very much. And then the banishment, we banish because we're not, it's this part that says, any part of your mind that does not know this has banished itself from knowledge because it has not met its conditions. So there are conditions that our mind and our minds need to meet before we can recognize our being, able to get knowledge.
Right.
And I suppose it's our when we're able to change our perception and clear up, our the way we see things, so get a different view and then able to receive knowledge.
Okay. So I want to say why it is impossible. It is impossible to recognize things when you're coming from a split mind. Okay. So the nature of love is acceptance. Okay. It is acceptance, for what is. Okay. It accepts you just as you are, where you are. It doesn't try to change you. It doesn't try to manipulate you or get you to see things from a certain perspective. It allows you to be exactly who you are and allows you and loves you anyway, unconditionally. So if you don't see things from that perspective, as far as loving someone unconditionally exactly where they are, you are not going to see them as beautiful because you have your own expectations. You have your own idea of how they should be or how they should act and things like that, or what is sensible for them to do and what is a normal thing for them to do. So you have all of these things that are impeding your vision that are preventing you from seeing them for exactly who they are. So you're not seeing with eyes of love. You're not seeing with the eyes of acceptance, which is the eyes of Holy Spirit, the eyes of God. You're not seeing them for the beauty that they are because you're seeing that they're not in line with how you think they should be. So that is what I get from. So when you can get all of that out of the way, when you can get your own agendas out of the way, you can get your own, what you think is the right thing to do and get some of your own beliefs out of the way, because there's going to be some people that don't believe as you believe, and that should still be okay because love does not require you to believe a certain way. It does not require any of those things. So, does that help anyone?
Yes.
That was well said.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you. All right. So are we ready to move on to paragraph 2? Or did anyone have any more questions about paragraph 1?
If I may share, I saw it as being an acceptance, non-judgment, and trust the big picture and big plan, whether or not the little I likes it.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Did you notice that he didn't caps creation in there? Does that allude to the fact that whatever it is of this world, or of the out of the illusion, I guess?
Well, what is really saying, Oscar, is that you're not going to see things. You're not going to see everything is out there. Everything is love. To be honest with you, God is actually in everything. Okay, but
Agreed. Yeah.
Recognize it when we have our own lenses of expectations and perceptions and things like that. We have our own thoughts that swirl around in our head that prevent us from seeing clearly. Because we want to see things the way we want to see them. If we believe certain things, then through confirmation bias, we're just going to see more of what we believe in. So with all of these things that are in there that are going on and stuff like that, how are you really going to see anything for what it is? You're only going to see what it is that you believe, or so you're just going to see a core belief. That's all you're going to see. So that's basically kind of what I'm getting from it. Okay. So people can't, if you are so invested in things and so like, well, this is how it is, and you have this absolute way of looking at things, then anything that doesn't fall in this absolute way or fall within how you perceive them to be is somehow bad. So how is that seeing the beauty? So I definitely like what you said, Monge. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, Monge?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I definitely don't want to butcher anyone's name. But I definitely like what you said. Even with the little understanding and trusting that there is synchronicity at work. Just with that, at least in the back of your head, that there is something and that's almost like, when I say I really don't know anything, so even though what I think I see, I know, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. And so when I say I don't know anything, that allows me to disbelieve some of the thoughts that I have in my head. It allows me to disbelieve what my eyes are showing me. It allows me to disbelieve to a certain extent what my ears are telling me. And it allows me to see something that is more beautiful that could be hidden underneath that I would not have seen or recognized had I believed everything that my eyes were telling me, or believed everything that my ears were telling me, or believed that I know everything. If I think I know everything, how is Holy Spirit going to speak to me? I don't have any room for Holy Spirit because I think I know everything. So it's kind of what you're saying, Morris, but just in a different kind of spin as far as understanding, even when you're looking from the little eye, understanding that there's a greater thing, a greater plan at work, that there's a synchronicity in every event. So, yeah. Thank you. Sure. Mons, would you like to read paragraph 2?
Sure. Can you hear me well?
Sure can.
Okay. You are at home in God, dreaming of exile, but perfectly capable of awakening to reality. Is it your decision to do so? You recognize from your own experience that what you see in dreams you think is real while you're asleep. Yet the instant you awaken, you realize that everything that seemed to happen in the dream did not happen at all. You do not think that this is strange, even though all the laws of what you awaken to were violated while you slept. Is it not possible that you're merely shifted from one dream to another without really waking?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So what do you all think about that? You have any, you guys want to look at that for a minute? Anyone have any comments on that?
Illusions are the same. It's basically what it's saying.
Okay.
I think the way I see it is when we are so eluded in the day-to-day stuff, and I kind of like to call it little I and the big I. So the little I stuff, and then as what Oscar said, that is the illusion, and that's where we get wrapped up with all the all things that get to us and trigger us, and then but then when we are home in God, which is the big I, the light within us, then everything is perfect as it is. And if it's not perfect, perhaps is a lesson that we haven't learned. But in all transparency, I am definitely in my little I a lot of times. But reading these and kind of talking about it, it actually hopefully it will help more and more and more to move in that space of everything is perfect as it is, and if it's not, it's because there's still triggers, or within me there are still things that needs to drop because they're not truth anymore. And so
Thank you. And yeah, we, at least I'm speaking for myself. I fluctuate between the big and little all the time. It's like the little me always wants to make a story up about something. And that's where the illusion comes that Oscar's referring to. Little me wants to make up a story based on my understanding of myself. So my understanding of myself, there's all these thoughts and swirling around within my mind based on my understanding of myself. And so everything that I perceive really stems from my understanding of myself, okay, basically. And so, I want to make a story up. Okay, so why is this happening? So I got this story for it. So why did this person do that? Okay, well, maybe this person is jealous or something. Or maybe what, and so you just get into this illusion and, they're just trying to yeah, they're just trying to get me and they're whatever. They don't want me to do well or whatever. It just creates a story. Yeah, it creates a movie.
All kind of effects.
Exactly.
Right? Effects.
You create your own drama. Yeah, at 4D. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. You create your own drama. As far as like just based on the story and how your story is how you're gonna see it. And then once you believe that story, just through confirmation bias, your mind is gonna show you that, hey, you know something, you're right. And you're gonna experience being right from that story. You're gonna experience, it could be a delusion, it could be whatever, but no one can tell you differently because that is your truth. And even though your truth may be that the whole world is out to get you, that's what you're going to experience. You're going to experience the whole world being out to get you through confirmation bias. You're just going to see more and more evidence of what it is that you believe.
Until you wake up.
Until you wake up. Until you get tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I was, when you were reading about this, like it said, you see a dream as a dream. And when you wake up, and that's it. So you usually don't spend too much time trying to figure out why you dream this and all of that. Sometimes a little bit, but you just relinquish from that. But in life, or what we call it life, we keep going and going, sometimes days, with the drama, the movie, until we decide, it is in us to decide to get out of that illusion,
Yep.
And just leave the story, as a movie, and regardless of might have true facts or no, regardless of whatever way we want to see it, it's still a movie.
Yep, it is. It is still a movie. Absolutely. What do you think, Zeba?
Well, I like the part that says number 6, which says, is it not possible that you merely shifted from one dream to another without really waking? And number 5, you do not think this strange, even though all the laws of what you awakened to were violated. So it's talking about how in this world, when we are in a dream, we wake up from the dream, we're not surprised that the world of dreaming is so different from the world of being awake. And how is that we don't realize that even this world that we are living in and we think is real could also be another dream, even though we have experienced our own dreaming at night. I think that's a very interesting question.
Yep. You're absolutely correct. Like you said, like we're talking about, it's like going from one dream to another. You're going from a dream when you're actually sleeping at night, or going from a dream when you're awake, when you're quote unquote awake in the dream, only to go to sleep, and then go to sleep So it's just going from dream state to dream state.
Mhm.
But it is possible to awaken.
Yeah, we can continue because that's that part. The next part builds up.
Right. But even in the dream, there are still lessons in the dream. You know, lessons that actually reach us where we are, where we experience charges, where our higher self draws into our experience for the day, like basically sets our whole curriculum for the day. And basically, okay, well, so, you know, right now, Stephen has a problem with, you know, people that don't smile to him. You know, he doesn't like it when people don't smile, okay? He really has a problem with that. So we're going to have a lot of people not smile at him today. So we're going to, you know, we're going to see, you know, we're going to have him continue to work through people not smiling and saying good morning and stuff like that, you know, until, you know, he begins to break away from requiring that people smile and things like that, and just basically just be what God created him to be, in spite of any outward type of stimuli or anything like that, and just basically shine the divine light that's within him. So it's the same. That's what I mean. So there's a curriculum that Holy Spirit, which is your higher self, creates for you for the day. And that curriculum is based on things that you need to heal from, things that give you a charge, you know, things that that you need to heal from for your highest good. And so if it no longer gives you a charge, then you won't really experience it. So are we ready to go on to paragraph 3? Would you mind, Ziba? Did that, I mean, are all your questions satisfactorily answered, Ziba?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a question, basically. It was, you know, an observation.
Okay. All right. Would you like to read, would you mind reading paragraph 3?
Sure. Would you bother to reconcile what happened in conflicting dreams, or would you dismiss both together if you discovered that reality is in accord with neither? You do not remember being awake. When you hear the Holy Spirit, you may feel better because loving then seems possible to you. But you do not remember yet that it once was so. And it is in this remembering that you will know it can be so again. What is possible has not yet been accomplished, yet what has once been is so now, if it is eternal. When you remember, you will know that what you remember is eternal and therefore is now. Yeah.
Yep. So what do you think about that, Ziba?
Yeah, again, the interesting part to me is the beginning of it, which says, would you bother to reconcile what happened in conflicting dreams, or would you dismiss both together if you discovered that reality is in accord with neither? So when you think of it, it's amazing that we are so bound by these, you know, illusions that we have. We sleep at night and we have dreams and get up and wake up and see a different world, completely different from the, you know, the dream world we had. And still, you know, we have a kind of faith and dedication to both of these worlds, which are conflicting with each other. And so, it's kind of amazing that we accept both of them as part of reality or reality. How could this be? To have a dream world that is different from your so-called real world, um, the world we live during the day, and still accept both as true, or one as true, the other one as not true or real. So
When both are false.
yeah, I mean, why can't we just realize that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Part of that comes from we talked about it last week, the dissonance that, between what we think we are, our mental construct of ourselves based on what we really are, in actuality, you are God. There's no part of you. There's nothing separating you from God. There's no part of you that is not part of God, and there's no part of God that is not part of you. But there is a realization of it, or a conscious realization, and that's where the dissonance comes in. And if you don't associate yourself, if you don't really believe that, you can hear that, you're one with God and you're God, and you can hear that all day till the cows come home. But if you don't believe that, again, I'm bringing up confirmation bias, you're going to see evidence of, that's going to be showing you that you are not God. You're going to see yourself as powerless. You're going to see yourself as limited, and things like that.
And not just that, you're gonna bring characters that are gonna help you to reinforce that. And what Moshe was putting on the chat is true. What you're saying, you're gonna have evidence. Of what you're wanting to think, of the story that you wanna keep or hold on to.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have all kind of characters that they are gonna help you. With that scenario.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I also want to kind of share something a little bit humorous, because I'm also wondering, they could both be a truth kind of illusion. The sleep could be like separate lifelong things. I remember as a kid, when my mom would wake me up in the morning, and if I was dreaming and the dream was good and I had like 10-15 more minutes, I would tell her, wake me up again in 10-15 minutes, and I would go back and I would finish my dream. I remember this vividly, that I'm like, Mom, it was so cool. Can you come back and wake me up another 15 minutes? I was like, just go back to the sleep, and I would be like so in it, and I would like finish the dream, and then I would wake up. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. So it could be that, the dream is like another life you're living every single night, like different lives you're living. And then, as adults, we may not take them as seriously or whatnot, but as kids, I seriously would finish my dream, because it was like I was either a warrior or a princess or something awesome in it. And I'm like, I need to finish this dream. I can't just go to school. There's much more important work to be done here.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, and even as an adult, it still happened to me, like I'm feeling so peaceful, or so, like wherever, when I wake up, it's like, oh my gosh, I wake up, like I was just feeling so good. And of course, you don't want that when you're having a nightmare, you want to wake up. I have had situations when I want to wake up and I can't, and I'm dreaming of that. Kind of a dream in the dream, like I cannot wake up, and I go back to sleep, and I'm having this fear, and I want to wake up, and even wanting to scream and not be able to do it. I'm feeling caught up inside of that nightmare or dream. This is basically a dream, an illusion dream that goes on and on.
I had really good dreams when I was a kid as well. I was able to fly in my dreams, so I enjoyed that. So yeah, I mean, I was able to do that. I could fly in my So
You still do it? I still do it.
yeah, I mean I do it
Those are the
once,
best.
Good.
once in a while now too as an adult. But I'm just saying I used to do it a lot. So,
You can program yourself, you know, importantly.
yeah, I enjoy it.
Let's fly tonight, you
So
know.
those were happy dreams.
Yeah.
All right. So Claudia, do you want to read the paragraph 4? Agreed.
I'm in the second part. Can I have that? And Sydney, put me back on track. You will remember everything the instant you decided wholly. For if to desire wholly is to create, you will have willed away the separation, returning your mind simultaneously to your creator and your creations. Knowing them, you will have no wish to sleep, but only to desire to waken and be glad. Dreams will be impossible because you will want only truth, and being at last your will, it will be yours.
All right.
So we can turn it to the Holy Spirit.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
You will remember everything the instant you decided wholly. So it's still our choice. You will have willed away the separation. Part of our choice, right? So we can
Absolutely.
ask for the holy instant, for the correction of the perception, returning your mind simultaneously to your creator and your creations.
So what do you all think about that?
I want to say that actually the word holy here, I think, is the key word because it, seems like remembering everything, we can remember everything that is the truth. Remembering the truth, we will do it. It is possible only when we wholly desire it. So that tells me that, when I desire this, waking up to the truth of who I am, I probably am not desiring it totally, not wholly. Because if I wholly want it, which means I don't want anything else, I can, reject everything else, which is not part of the truth, the ego stuff. Apparently, I am still not able to reject all of them. And that's why I am in between, here and there, trying, sometimes being here, sometimes there, whatever, but not so in order to awaken totally, one needs to desire totally, wholly.
Exactly. So that's the key right there, Ziba.
Yeah.
Desire wholly and totally, as far as there is no rejection at that point, because now you are basically accepting every aspect of yourself and accepting every aspect of your brother and sister. You're not like saying, okay, well, I like this about you, but I don't like this. Okay, well, I want this, but I don't want that. So it's like, in other words, again, think in terms of unconditional acceptance or unconditional love. Okay. Love doesn't care about you know, about any aspect. Love looks at you as perfect. You are perfect just as you are, exactly as you are. You know, with all of your quote unquote flaws. Okay, love is love doesn't have those conditions. Okay, well, come to me when you can be like this or you can be like that. Okay, love doesn't have those conditions. So if you have those types of conditions, then that's not desiring things wholly. Okay, it's holy. The whole thing, the whole ancient life, whole
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
shit, the good with the quote unquote what you think is bad. You know, really what you think is bad really isn't bad at all. You just giving it that value of bad.
Well, thank you. Yes.
And then by deciding it's holy becomes holy. That's but it's a kind of a sabotage that I think that when Siva was saying it, I was thinking about that. Sometimes we think that we want something, but of course, if we're still, in the illusion, is because we don't really want it. So that's why at some level we think, but we don't want it wholly.
Accept everything. Okay, that's what it means as far as holy, to accept everything. Just, and anytime that you find yourself in doubt, just think, what would love do? The nature of love. Okay, does love look at me the same way I look at myself? Okay, so if love doesn't look at me the same way I look at myself, then maybe, just maybe, my perception of myself is off. Does love think that about me?
Do I really, really, really want to see me, holy and love and all of that? Or I want to stay, in the ego thinking that I'm little? Yeah.
Is love afraid of this? Would love be afraid, of this or that, So then why am I afraid? So, in terms of that, again, that's what it's saying, as far as basically just taking even the things that are seemingly not good, or you've placed a value of not good, and that's not a holy type thing. That's not being wholly accepting. It's like you're wanting this part of it, but you don't want the fact that that they're like this, or you want that part of it. I want this, but I don't want this that comes with it. Well, that's not wholly desiring it. So that's the best way I can interpret that.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so we are about to take a 10-minute break, and so feel free to, get a snack or the restroom, whatever, and we will be back. And I don't know if we need 10 minutes, but yeah, about 8 to 10 minutes, so we'll be back. So we'll still be, but I'm gonna go grab some chips. I'll be back.
So how long is